In the animal world, where survival rules, battles don't always go as expected. Creatures that appear calm can sometimes turn into ruthless fighters, and confrontations can be shocking and unexpected. Sheep may not seem like fierce warriors, but you will see that they achieve great victories and sometimes suffer great defeats. Some of these battles will shock you, and which is exactly what we're about to see today. This furious ram, with eyes full of fire and nervous movements, charged at a powerful bull without any prior warning. No one knows exactly why the ram attacked the bull, perhaps competition, perhaps territory, or maybe just senseless rage. What is certain is that the ram intended a devastating strike with its iron-hard head, a blow that had previously taken down smaller rivals. But this time, it faced a different creature, a real bull, who not only didn't retreat, but stood his ground with full confidence. At the moment of impact, a sound like an explosion rang out. The ram thought he would break the bull's jaw. But what he got instead was a bony skull made of steel. With calculated and brave resistance from the bull, it was as if he had struck a rock, not an animal. Inside a farm, suddenly a sheep gets the urge to challenge the farm's pony. At first, the horse was minding its own business and didn't bother the sheep at all, but the sheep was eager to ignite the fire of a fierce battle with the beautiful horse. The horse tried to avoid the conflict, but each time the sheep struck its back hard with its head. The horse wanted to make the sheep understand that they were friends. Wherever the horse went, the stubborn sheep followed and attacked it from behind. Even in the presence of other horses, the sheep continued its attacks and showed no fear. The sheep's repeated harassment had really annoyed the horse, and several times it turned back to respond, but each time it looked at the sheep, it changed its mind. The sheep was lucky that the horse was in a good mood today, and didn't do anything to it. A young and energetic horse roaming around the yard was suddenly attacked by a crazy and fearless sheep. It was expected that upon impact, the sheep would fall under the horse's legs and be crushed. But to everyone's surprise, the force of the stubborn and headstrong sheep's blow was so great that it had the opposite effect, toppling the proud young horse and knocking it to the ground. The horse's loss of balance and fall were so intense that it seemed its spine might have been broken or injured. But fortunately, the horse stood back up, only to face another round of wild and pounding attacks from the stubborn sheep. The horse could have used its deadly kicks, but the headstrong sheep was lucky today. Unlike the previous videos, this time you witness a terrifying and horrifying encounter between a horse and a sheep, and realize what happens to poor sheep when horses get angry and go berserk. This horse had become shockingly and frighteningly enraged, and was lifting the poor sheep into the air with its teeth like a piece of cloth and slamming it to the ground. Such power and violence in a horse is shocking and unbelievable. Apparently, the sheep had made the horse so agitated and aggressive that it responded with such a savage and terrifying attack. The horse was tossing the sheep through the air like a rag doll and slamming it to the ground, as if moving a light bag of cotton. The scary part is that tearing it apart wasn't enough. It continued to strike and stomp the poor sheep with heavy blows. This sheep was definitely not comfortable with the presence of the pig nearby. Although the pig was completely harmless, standing still and peacefully grazing, it was suddenly attacked by the jealous sheep. The reason for the sheep's attack on the pig was unclear. Most likely, the pig's similar size made the sheep see it as a rival. But the sheep's pounding blow showed that it was completely angry at the poor pig and would settle for nothing less than its destruction. It seemed the pig's lack of movement and response gave the sheep more confidence and aggression, and it took advantage of the moment to repeatedly knock the pig over with powerful hits. A noisy and aggressive ram with blazing eyes and heavy steps, had targeted a proud deer. But in nature, every unplanned attack comes with a cost. The ram thought he could take the deer down with a powerful blow, but the alert deer was watching the ram's movements. The first blow from the ram was intense and crushing, but the deer stood his ground at the most precise and perfect moment. The ram, shocked by the deer's defense and resistance, never expected such a fierce counterattack. The ram repeatedly tried to push the deer back with successive attacks, but the deer had taken such firm control of the battle that the ram wished he had never entered this fight. Curious and reckless sheep decided to get too close to a powerful black horse and interact with it, a mistake that could have been the last decision of its life. The horse, despite its calm appearance, is an animal that can explode at any moment, and suddenly, with a merciless kick, made the sheep regret its move. The horse's blow was so upsetting that the sheep immediately ran toward its herd, as if the herd could provide shelter from the horse's attacks. Nature never tolerates mistakes. The sheep, which might have approached the horse earlier out of arrogance or thoughtlessness, was now struggling desperately to escape danger. A young and energetic horse approached the sheep with no ill intent. It meant to engage in a friendly play, but instead of accepting the play, the sheep suddenly attacked the horse's legs. The horse lost its balance, but quickly got back up with remarkable agility and tried to calm the situation. There was no sign of any intent for violence in him, but the sheep wouldn't back down, and attacked again, this time so fiercely and decisively that the horse chose to retreat. From afar, another horse was observing the scene, an older, more experienced one. Perhaps if the sheep had confronted that observer instead of the young horse, the outcome would have been different. Not retreat, but a firm response and a real kick that would have changed everything and put the sheep back in its place. In the heart of a lush alpine mountain, 4 strong male rams of the same age, driven by instinct and habit, clash their heads fiercely after grazing and feeling full so violently that one of them is knocked to the ground. Moments later, the remaining rams, ignoring the one lying on the ground, continue their fight, butting heads with even more force. The fight descends into complete chaos as the overturned ram lies on his back with his legs in the air, while the other 3 attack one another with no regard. Fortunately, the conflict doesn't continue for long, and the wild brawl gradually settles down. After a few minutes, the first ram gets back on his feet, and all of them resume grazing peacefully together, as if nothing had ever happened between them. Friends, if you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to share the video with your friends so more people can watch it. I'll see you in another exciting video.